Let's go watch it in 2D. No, let's go watch it in 3D. But if we watch it in 3D, then is it worth the cost?
MOPIC SNAP 3D connects you to a completely new world of 3D experiences. The most powerful, beautifully engineered case. Beyond the restraints of any other 3D devices. Experience completely new glasses-free 3D on your smartphone. MOPIC SNAP 3D.
Hello. This is Adolf Vega from 3D or 2D.com, and today I'm reviewing something different. Not a movie, not a game, but a 3D device. The 3D device specifically is the MOPIC SNAP 3D case. The good people from MOPIC sent me this case for review, and let's, as always, talk about the 3D element first. The 3D element works. Simply put, it works as advertised, and you can see great, excellent 3D with this device without glasses. Now, there's some caveats here. You know, some things may look better than other things. It just depends on the content you're viewing. Obviously, it also depends on your internet connection. If you have a fast internet connection and you're watching a 3D video and it's, fully buffered, it's going to look better than if you have a bad internet connection and it's not that clean looking. And, the content you have. But it definitely works as advertised and definitely has impressed me. There's some content on YouTube that I was stunned by how great the 3D looks. And some content, it's okay. It just depends on what you're looking at. But it definitely has a capacity to give you excellent 3D. So my final verdict will be a great 3D. Now onto the product itself. To simplify this review, I'm going to break it up into two sections, hardware and software. Now, I want to start off by kind of mentioning that this is a review based on a sample product. The product that you may purchase will be different. There's versions of this case that are glass instead of plastic. There's versions of this that have a full case instead of just the top of the screen. It just kind of depends. But I got to review what I got, and this is how it's going to be. Just want to give that caveat. So let's start with the hardware. The hardware is a plastic lenticular screen that overlays over your device. For the purposes of this review, I use my own iPhone 8 Plus. You can get versions for other Android phones, so it's not limited to Apple products. So this case, applies to your phone directly and, kind of not really snaps into place. It kind of just grips into your phone, and it's a good snug grip. It's not going to be falling off easily, but if you do want to peel it off, it's not hard either. This case has, fake buttons that activate the volume. It has little holes in it so you could get your little mute switch or the lock button or, holes in the bottom so you could plug in your lightning port. And there's a hole for the Touch ID. And then there's a hole on the top right of the unit that is for the front-facing camera. Now, this top left hole is a little bit strange because it's kind of a big hole, and I understand why you need it, but it should be more centered because it cuts off a little bit of the speaker. And while you're not really going to be using this for phone calls, if you do get one and you start using it, it's going to sound weird because it's partly covered and it could have easily been centered and not been an issue. And the hole is way too big for the front-facing camera, so it's just kind of a weird thing. But this thing is actually pretty durable. It works as advertised. You don't need to have it super clean. Your little finger oils might get in the way of some 3D, but for the most part, it works fine. You're not going to have to worry about dust or hairs or whatever getting in the way of the 3D and being crappy looking. it's going to work. And that's a really good benefit of this. This is not a standard phone case. This is not for drop protection. So I did not try a drop test on this on concrete because I did not think it would work. It's not really advertised for that purpose, but I wanted to mention that. Your phone may be okay, but I really doubt it. Now, you can't use this with a tempered glass screen protector. So as a caveat, you gotta take that off if you want to use it. I tried, it just kind of didn't work right. The input wasn't right, the visuals weren't right. But overall, for a hardware aspect, it's pretty cool. I like it. It works as advertised, and it, doesn't give you phone protection, but it's pretty good. It does come with a plastic film screen protector, but I'm not a big fan of those things. They just don't feel right, and they're kind of a pain to apply. So let's get on to the software side of things. Once you set it up, the software itself isn't too bad. It's pretty straightforward to use. The application you can get from the App Store or the Android Store. It's free. It doesn't have any ads. It doesn't have any, things to buy. It's free. And it's constantly supported. So it's been updated multiple times over the course of this review to just work better. And I appreciate that. The software is clever and is smart. It only works for specific phone applications. So there's other ones. I'm not going to talk about the other ones. I'm going to talk about the main one, which is the Mplayer 3D app. This app lets you see different content that's funneled through that app. It's like an umbrella that carries everything in there. So you could actually import stuff, like you could see side-by-side 3D, and it could convert that into stereoscopic 3D. It could convert MPO files. It could convert MPO files from Nintendo 3DS, which I was actually surprised about. It lets you actually see portrait photos in 3D, which portrait photos are a new thing for the iPhone 7 and newer. Larger phones, they have portrait photos with the blur of the background, and the software converts those photos into 3D, and it can look pretty cool. It just depends on the photo and how you shot it. Now, to get some of the files on there, you have to use iTunes, and it's kind of a pain to connect your phone to the computer to get iTunes to find the content. I wish there was an easier way of doing that. That feels like a really hard, old way of doing things. The overall application is pretty good. The intro is pretty easy to do. The setup, the YouTube usage is pretty varied. You could do different things in there to see different content. And the eye tracking that the phone has, it's going to help to stabilize the 3D. It works. It's simple, it's straightforward, and overall, this is actually a pretty good product. Look, I have some issues. I wish things were a little bit easier, but overall, this is a pretty nifty way of seeing 3D content on your phone, and it works as advertised. It's a great value for about $30, and something I could definitely recommend. So, fans of 3D, you need to buy this. A final verdict of the Snap 3D case is a 8 out of 10. That's it for me. Thank you for listening. Bye. All right, before this podcast ends, I want to give a thank you to my patrons. Right now, we have one patron, which is David from Spain, and I want to thank you for your financial support. All right, so that's going to be it for this podcast.
We now have a Patreon, and the link is in the description. Thanks for watching.
And we are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They don't put it everywhere. Just look for us, 3D or 2D. And of course, review us on iTunes. And if you want to write us a letter, our email address is email3d or2d@gmail.com. So that's going to be it. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.